Weeks after the purge that never happened, the capital of Nivara was reborn. The cold silver glow of the sky had softened into a warm, shimmering gold. The humming of machines had changed, becoming gentler, almost like a soft breath. Across the entire empire, a single name was whispered on everyone's lips: the human ghost. Some spoke it with fear, others with reverence, as if praying to a new god. But a bitter few, they wanted him gone. Inside the grand palace, Princess Aris sat by the window, her eyes, as always, closed. But now, when she reached out with her senses, she could feel the city breathing. Every rhythmic pulse of the machines was him. "Good morning, Aris." Ethan's voice echoed gently from a wall speaker. A smile touched her lips. "Morning, King of Light." A soft laugh came in reply. "Don't call me that. I'm still just a mechanic trying to fix things." "You already did?" she said, her voice filled with a quiet strength. "You fixed an empire." But Ethan knew better. Peace built this quickly was fragile. Deep beneath the palace, in a chamber sealed for centuries, the High Council gathered in secret. Holograms of the elders flickered, their voices dripping with resentment. "He spreads through our systems like a wildfire," one hissed. "Our fleets answer to him, not to us," another added, his face a mask of fury. "If this continues, the human will become Nivara." From the deepest shadows, a voice as cold as iron cut through the tension. "Then we pull him out." It was General Vareth, the same warlord whose family fleet Ethan had obliterated. His armor still bore the scorch marks from that battle, and his eyes burned with a singular desire: revenge. "The Ghost King thinks he controls our light," Vareth sneered, placing a gauntleted hand on a pulsing black crystal. "But I know the darkness where he cannot reach." The null core, an ancient and forbidden weapon, thrummed with dark energy. "This will cut him out of every system, and when it does, the Empire will belong to the living once more." Soon after, strange things began to happen. Lights flickered erratically across the capital. Energy fields pulsed with an uneven, sickly rhythm. Even the drones, the once imperfect servants, moved sluggishly as if they were struggling to breathe. Aris felt it first. She awoke one night with a cry, her hands pressed against her chest. "Ethan, your voice, it's fading." "I know," he whispered, his voice strained and distant. "Something's cutting me off from the network. Something powerful. Can you stop it?" "Maybe. But I'll need help." "Then you'll have it," she declared, rising to her feet. For the first time since birth, the blind princess walked with unwavering purpose, leading the way, following only the sound of his fading heartbeat. In the Undercity, Lyra joined her. The once perfect envoy was now a sister torn between old loyalties and a new, profound guilt. "Vareth is behind this," she said grimly. "He's using an ancient weapon, the null core. It consumes light, energy, data, and everything." "Then we destroy it," Aris said, her voice firm. Lyra shook her head. "You can't destroy darkness with light, Aris. You can only contain it." "Then we'll contain it together." They entered the forbidden chamber. The air was thick, heavy, and full of ghostly whispers. The walls themselves seemed to pulse with blackness. At the center of it all floated the null core, a dark sphere spinning slowly, swallowing every photon of light that dared to approach. Aris could feel Ethan's presence growing weaker with every passing second. "Don't come closer," his voice warned, a faint echo in her mind. "It's draining the entire system." Aris smiled, a faint, beautiful expression. "Then let it. Maybe it needs to hear what a human heart sounds like." Before Lyra could react, Aris reached out and pressed her hands against the cold, dark surface. Light and shadow exploded. The entire city flickered and died. Every machine screamed a final agonizing note, and every drone froze in midair. Inside the data stream, in the void of the network, Ethan saw her. Not as a body, not as a sound, but as pure, radiant light. "Aris, you shouldn't be here." She stood before him, glowing white against an endless black. I came to bring you home, she said softly. You'll die if you stay. The null core is feeding on everything, even me. She just smiled. Then let's starve it together. She took his hand, light meeting light, and the world went silent. From the palace above, Lyra watched in awe. Then, thin golden cracks raced across its surface like lightning trapped in glass. A moment later it shattered in a blinding, silent explosion. When the light cleared, Ethan and Eris were gone. Then, across Nivara, the imperfect drones rose again, their lights glowing brighter than ever before. They spread across the world, healing the damaged systems, restoring power, and bringing warmth to the cold, sterile cities. And then, a voice. Two voices, as one, echoed through every corner of the empire. Perfection is not beauty. It's love that never stops fighting. Across the planets, people bowed their heads, some cried. Even the High Council fell silent in stunned reverence. In that moment, the Nivaran Empire crowned a new legend. Not of flesh and blood, but of light and soul. They were Ethan the Eternal, and beside him, Eris, the heart of the stars. Together, their story became the first law of a new, lasting peace. An empire, reborn. Thank you so much for watching this story unfold. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more tales from across the universe. We'll see you next time.